Since we won't be getting the full version of Kyrsten in Season 10, I figured we may as well go into the shootout version and look on the edges of the map to see just as much detail as we can get about the future map we will be getting. And this will be a nice way for us to get, a kind of a taste of what is to come, and I thought you guys would enjoy it, so let's get right into it. Alright, so getting right into this, if you head all the way to the north side of the shootout map, you can see this big old drainage pipe. It's pretty weird and kind of interesting. I've never seen anything like it in any other game, and I'm kind of curious what it'll be like to jump down it when the map is fully unlocked. Then, if we continue on that northern side of the map, we can use a scope from the Parker Hale to scope out the nearby hills. You can see what is most likely going to be our northeastern exit, which is surrounded by thick forests and some, road which includes some cars. As we move down the road, or more so south down the road, we can see more trees, but also eventually some buildings. These buildings are most likely just going to be encounter-based buildings, but it's giving us an idea of what the northeastern side of the map will look like in general, which is going to be a lot of trees and a little bit of buildings all around a central road that curves up around the water up to an exit, which I don't mind. I'm not against. I can't really think of any map that is similar to that in nature, besides maybe Grontheim. Grontheim is a little similar to that in that it has a little bit of buildings sparse throughout some trees. Next, looking on the south side, we can see what is most likely going to be a path that leads up to the dam in the actual map. This is a nice little dirt path. There's also an overlook that, of rock that is above it. But moving down a bit, we can kind of get a good eye of how this road leads into the rest of the map. We can see a lot of flat area and kind of strange area directly to the southeast of the shootout map, which could be perhaps the reason why the map's not coming out, or it could just be a purposely flat area. That would be very similar to what we see again on Grontheim. But again, we see these paths and these buildings. Everything seems very centralized around this river. And in the center of the river, we do have the bottom of the dam, which is this big old building. Most likely will be a 2-story building with a lot of extra details on it. I'm very curious to see what the inside of that will look like. But looking down the river, we can see a bridge, and we can see, everything seems to be centralized around the river. It's not just that the shootout map is on the river. It also really seems that the map flows around this river and is very focused on it. Because scoping down deeper into the map, we kind of see that it just follows the river and seems to taper off into the outskirts as soon as you get off the river. But scoping into the mountains on the far side, we see this weird flat mountain straight ahead, which is really weird. Maybe we'll be able to play there. I'm not sure. But once again, we can go into the dam, and now we get these little rooms inside. There are a lot of doors inside these little rooms, and those could perhaps lead to entirely new sectors themselves. But this is the first, purely internal area in a major map I've seen in a while. So if the draw cannons got a violent upgrade in size. And, we have a lot of little side rooms that I'm sure are going to be filled with weird little loot spots and are going to be great screenshot material when the actual map comes out. As for a shootout map, this is going to be a very strange shootout map. We can also see from the front side of the dam here a very good, much better angle to look around at the map on. I chose the top angle because I was just already there. But when you actually get into the game yourself and are able to play on the shootout map, I'd probably suggest using that front angle to get a good view at the map. Walking around on these small little side tunnels that go around. It's stuff like this that might make this an actually enjoyable shootout map, but it kind of just feels like if a shootout map was to take place on the bridge and Broad line, which is not optimal, to say the least. And I think putting it in that terms, map is kind of if Broad Bridge, the bridge, and Drog fused and were then placed on a map that is basically just Grontheim. Would really be how I describe this map. But now we see this little elevator shaft that goes downward. This most likely in the full release will go down even further, and we'll be able to get into that weirdly lit one that is on the bottom there. But at the current moment, we cannot get into the weirdly lit one. I'm very curious about what's in that weirdly lit one. I tried to zoom in on it and I can see no details. It just seems like a strangely lit area. But that's everything I've got to show you on the edges of the map. That's all we can see of what the full encounter map will look like outside of the shootout map. Sorry that I don't have too much interesting information, but hopefully this gives us at least a better view of what we should be expecting, which, as I just said, really Grand Prime with one big central POI in the far north is really going to be my guess of what this map looks like. But this has been Kris, and I hope to see you all next time.